Hello everyone, I am author Kevin L. Antoine and I am participating in the Trilogy Christian Publishing Group Challenge. This is day number 28 and I'm here to share another testimony from my book, Memoir, My Testimonies. And today I want to share the testimony about the time I actually died and was brought back to life. The year was 1993 and I was stationed at Luke Air Force Base in Glendale, Arizona. It was a summer weekend and it was about 120 degrees that day. I was a high voltage electrician and I was on standby. There was a power outage on base due to a storm that hit. I got a phone call around 6:30 a.m. and I showed up at the base about an hour later. I went to the substation to start assessing the problem because that was one of the first things we did during a power outage. I started charging and resetting breakers. Most of them reset, but others would not reset, indicating there was a problem out in the field. It was time to bring in more help, so I contacted Service Call, who then called my coworkers in. My coworkers arrived and we started troubleshooting. Keep in mind, we are working in 120-degree temperatures. We had been trained to keep lots of water on hand at all times, and we had water on the trucks, but for some reason, I was not drinking enough. I have always struggled with staying hydrated, and this was one of those days where I needed to be properly hydrated, and I was not hydrated at all. There was a convenience store on base, and when we got their power back on, they rewarded us with free sodas. Now, I'm drinking sodas instead of drinking water. It was mid-afternoon, and I remember one of my supervisors called us together for a quick meeting, so we were standing outside in a circle near the convenience store, and I was standing across from the guy who was speaking. Looking at him, my peripheral vision started shrinking and opening back up, shrinking and opening back up. Also, my hearing was getting muffled. Do you remember what the teacher sounded like in the cartoon Charlie Brown? Wah, 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 wah. That's what I was hearing when the guy was talking, but I had no idea what was happening to me. I remember him looking at me strangely, like he knew something was not right with me, but he didn't say anything, so I didn't say anything. We went back to work and worked until 7:30 p.m. So now I've been working for about 12 hours. I'm severely dehydrated, but I don't know it. Our commander showed up and he decided to reward us for working hard all day, restoring the power back on base. We decided to go to a place on base that provided food and drinks. We sat at a long table. Pitchers of beer were brought to the table, and I remember someone pouring me a glass of beer. The last thing I remember was bringing the glass to my mouth, and then I blacked out. Everything I'm sharing from this point is what I was told. They called 911 to get emergency services to me because I was not breathing and I no longer had a pulse, which means my heart had stopped beating. I was clinically dead. The paramedics got there and performed a precordial thump and CPR on me, which revived my lifeless body. The next thing I remember was waking up in the back of an ambulance parked outside. I had no shirt on, an IV was in my arm, I had no boots on. I was told those things were removed to help me to cool down. Can you imagine if I had driven home instead of going there for drinks? Then I probably would have blacked out while I was driving. I remember there was a field on my way home. I could have easily veered off into that field and maybe no one would have found me for a while and gotten to me quickly enough. I would not be here today. Thank you, Jesus, for saving my life. Can you imagine if I had died on that day? I would not be here right now talking to you. I would not have written a book. I would not be walking in purpose. I would not be doing none of the things that God had called me to do if I had passed away that day. And even worse than that, if I had passed away on that day, I would be in hell right now because I was not saved at this point. I didn't get saved until the year 2000. So I said all that to say, do not ever think that you have tomorrow to get saved. Don't think that you can just wait till tomorrow to get things today, because there are people who did not wake up this morning. You happen to be one of them, especially if you're listening to this message. But don't take life for granted. Do what you need to do today. Okay, that's all that I have for you. I will see you back here tomorrow as I share another testimony from my book, Memoir, My Testimonies. Have a blessed day.